Hello guys and welcome to this video. Here I have just built the Tiffany Nautilus. This is a brand new set of parts available from Lucius Atelier. I bought all of these parts on my own free will. They're not sponsoring me in any way. I just wanted to try it. And there are a few things this new case set solves with these Nautilus style mods. Those have been some of my most requested and most popular mods recently. And typically I would build something like this using a case set either from Namoki Mods or Mod Mode watches. But a few clients have always said, I really like the case, it's just a little too big. Now that case is 42mm approximately. It's a little hard to measure these cases with these sort of ear parts on the side, but Lucius Atelier, I noticed, they released a 36mm case, so it uses the same size dial, same movement, same style of hands. It's an NH36 movement in there, just with the day removed, or you could of course do this with an NH35, much the same way. So the case is just a little bit smaller, a bit more compact. And the other major advantage with this case is it comes with this quite attractive Nautilus style bracelet, which is not something you could get in this sort of, well, I'm not going to say older version because it's still recent, but the other version does not come with a bracelet. You can get an oyster style bracelet for it, but it definitely doesn't look like this one. It definitely doesn't look as much like the actual Nautilus. Now, when I saw the case, I just had to get Lucius Atelier's Tiffany blue dial, because I really wanted to make this watch. This is a ridiculous watch released from Patek, inspired of course by Patek's Tiffany watch. I think it's something crazy like $2 million or something now, but of course unobtainable for even the mega rich. So I thought, let's have some fun and make our own interpretation of it using Lucius Atelier parts. So they also recently released this dial. So let's dive into that dial a little bit and check it out. So it's actually a kind of a machined, I think it's made of aluminium, could be brass, but it's like a machined steps all the way through. Really high quality finishing on the markers. You've got the little Lucius Atelier logo there as well. Of course, I don't put Seiko logos on non-Seiko parts, so that's why I'm really pleased to put the Lucius Atelier dial in this. And I'm more than happy to promote their brand because they make such good quality parts. You can see inside the case you've got this straight down sort of chapter ring or rehot, so you can't change any chapter rings. It's a sapphire, flat sapphire glass with seemingly very good anti-reflective coating. As you can see, it looks beautiful through the lens here. We've got a little black dates around. And I decided to go for the matching black hands from, of course, Lucius Atelier as well, which just fit this design perfectly. So of course, here is what we were inspired by. And I think with this case set and these parts, we've come as close as possible to it. Now, I have seen other people do these Tiffany blue style Nautilus mods online, but usually they're using fake Seiko dials from AliExpress or similar. There are also these styles of cases available on those cheaper sites, but you always get what you pay for. If it's a case coming from AliExpress, it's just not going to be good quality. Things like the clasp on the back, the crown will feel terrible when you try and use it, and it won't be as well finished in that it will pick up scratches really easily, for example. So though it might look cool on the picture, in person, I would only ever trust parts from high quality suppliers like Lucius Atelier. I will show you a loom shot of this. This one's got the blue BGW9 loom, and yeah, lovely match in the color of the loom on the hands, even in bright lights like this. Let's have a look at the watch overall. I will measure it properly for you as well in a second. So the bracelet has got these polished center links. It's I've never held the actual watch this is inspired by, but nice polished parts. It's almost like an oyster bracelet with just some slightly these kind of H-link pattern going on here. The clasp is again, Patek inspired double butterfly opening sort of clasps. No adjustment in this buckle. One thing I noticed, the screws that hold the bracelet together, super high quality, really easy to remove and fasten. Inside, you've even got some slight decoration on the clasp there, but it's all milled, stainless steel, 316 of course, and you get a exhibition case back with this case as well. I wasn't actually sure if they'd included a case back, but you do get a nice exhibition case back in there as well. So the overall thickness of the watch, I'm going to go through and measure it properly in a minute. You could maybe fit a slimmer case back, but overall it's not a large size watch. It definitely won't suit my quite large wrist. In fact, I'm not even sure if I can put it on because I've resized it, but let's try. Almost, I think I can close sort of half the bracelet there. Now for me, this is definitely too small, but for most of you with average size wrists, this might sit quite well. I'd say it definitely wears a little bigger than the 36 that they state, but let's have an actual measure of it to see the true size of this watch. Now, you won't be able to change the bracelet or anything, so I'm not going to measure the lugs. But if we start off, now this is going to be hard. I'm going to go for total width basically. So it's 43 including the crown. Then if we step it down to just those kind of what I call ears, it's around 39. So I guess the 36 probably comes from mostly the bezel size. So I wouldn't really call it a 36. I'd probably call it more like a 40, which is probably more realistic, probably more like the actual watch it's inspired by as well. Thickness wise, did mention the thickness before. It is a relatively thin watch at 12.3, with the standard case back that's included. You can actually, of course, get this case and put any kind of dial in it, but I really liked that dial. You could probably see why. Nice pattern dial and really clean quality look. I like the black elements as well, and I decided to go for the date version just to make it match the actual Tiffany Patek more, but you can find these dials in all configurations, including no date, date, and day date as well. Like I said, NH36 movement inside, so I just removed the day wheel. I just had one. It's really no different to the NH35. So in the first position, if you move it, of course, you're gonna get the date change. You can wind it and pull the crown fully to make the second stop, and of course set your time accurately. Nice screw down crown action as well. This is one of the reasons you go for higher end quality cases over the cheaper ones you might see, because things like just winding the crown in and using the watch is going to be so much more pleasant, because it is a really nice model. So 36mm, more like 39 really for me, but definitely a smaller option with the integrated bracelet. I don't think you can change the bracelets on these. I haven't seen any other options on Lucius Atelier. Maybe one day they'll have the leather straps or something that'll fit this, but a really cool option. And of course, this one will be available for sale on my website, svkwatches.ae, and you'll see photos and everything else on my Instagram too. That's of course at Seikomodsdubai. Let me charge this up for a quick loom shot, and then we'll close it out. Now it's a bit hard to tell that it's loomed up with much the same color background, but it is that blue loom on this. Nice consistency, charges up well, stays bright a long time. Of course, it's going to look great under UV light as well. Overall, really happy with this case. High quality part as expected from Lucius Atelier. A little bigger. It feels a bit bigger than what they say, but I think this is still a great contender for that Seiko-Naut style that's ever so popular now. What do you guys think? What kind of dial and configuration would you have made? If you're interested in the watch, you want to ask me anything, Instagram is a great place to do that. Otherwise, I'll see you next time, and I hope you enjoyed this video. Thank you.